Schumann, the Schumann Piano Concerto I read was described as recklessly happy.
Yes and no. Yes, it is the last movement. It ends with such euphoria. And it is also in Schumann's music. It depends, of course, on the phase and the period of time and so on. There was, of course, the famous 1840 when he composed all these amazing song cycles and so on. He has had phases, and then up to a certain point, he composed on mainly piano solo music only. He started off as a pianist, and then he mucked up with his finger and so on. And incidentally, although people say Schumann was a great pianist, and he particularly the other instruments tell you that Schumann has written just for the piano, and he could write only for the piano. Now, was he a great pianist? And the answer is no. His wife was. Clara was a great pianist. But he himself never was that brilliant a pianist. Chopin was, Beethoven was, Mozart was, and Johann Sebastian G. Those were all such keyboard players. But Schumann wasn't even a great pianist.
But he had his muse at home who could
and not
play
only,
for him.
He had such fantasy, he had such imagination, a unique imagination, and he had invented some way of composing as some people in the 20th century, and now in the 21st, certain number of young composers are discovering the very peculiar thought process of Schumann as their inspiration. And it is very interesting because how he composes and how he invents. It took me a long time why it is so difficult to really get through to Schumann and to learn them, is because by twisting a motif, for example, that alone, he creates completely unexpected dissonances and so on. So he is a very peculiar composer, but in this piece, as in all of anyway, this piece is also, the hidden motto is Clara. Clara, C, yeah, in German. C, das ist C, yeah? And A, T, ta, so T, T, da, ta. He made that theme already from the name of Clara. And then there's the all of the rhythmic unity. There's this Clara, Clara. So it's his affection and love to Clara. That is in many, many musics of his. But this one, very strongly so. And he composed this piece as a fantasy first. And then somebody pointed out, no, it should be expanded into a piano concerto. And it has got, with not as badly as the symphonic etudes, but it has also a very interesting past history, this piece. So we still find it very difficult. To what extent did he want it this way, or did the copyist make a mistake, or did the printers just produce a misprint, because one of the clean copy before it went to the publication that got lost, and so on. So we are tearing our hair out. But these days, finally, we have got some good music to score from which we can study.
Is that how you prepare for a piece like this, the Schumann? You go back and imagine what he was going through in that time and his love to his wife. Obviously, Clara must have been a real Powerfrau.
Yeah, and above all, an incredible pianist. But he was a very, very complex character. And there are some of his greatest pieces he wrote even before Clara. So it is quite complicated.
So one can't say she was responsible for all his
for absolutely everything.
No,
but she certainly was the main figure in his life. That is very clear.
The Schumann you haven't played here before. You've played lots of Mozart. I remember you. Mm-hmm. I read that your premiere here was 25 years ago. Of course, no one will believe that. 25 years ago with Messiaen.
Messiaen's oiseau exotique.
That's very unusual for you, because although you are a oiseau exotique yourself, you're not associated so much with Messiaen. You're very much.
I have got very peculiar repertoire. I play a lot of the main German repertoire, what they call the German from Johann Sebastian Bach, although I keep him very secret in my jacket inside.
You play him for you at home?
Yes, very, very much. And
I don't remember seeing
out a little
that.
bit, but even in that Messiaen concert, there was Brandenburg 5, you see, and that I don't mind, or I love playing Bach on the piano.
But you don't play it very often in concerts, do you?
I am outing a little bit.
You're outing
here,
a little bit.
here and
Good.
there,
Good.
yeah.
I look forward.
Yeah. And I combine at the moment Kurtag with Bach. And that is a wonderful
fantastic
group.
combination.
Yes, it's wonderful. He does it himself.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Haydns and Mozart, particularly Mozart, really a lot. Mozart, Beethoven, Schubert, and then Schumann. And Brahms less so, but more through the chamber music. Also, I'm outing with Brahms, more sort of on the side. And so on. And then, of course, the second Viennese school. So that is my mainstream of repertoire. But then I have this French side, Polish French side, because Chopin as an honorary person who lived in France, but who is a totally different kettle of fish, but still. But Debussy, Ravel, and then Messiaen with it, and then I even play Pierre Boulez.
You've played with the Berliner Philharmoniker. You've played Mozart. I know you've played Ravel and Bartók. But I remember a concert with you about 6 years ago when we did the Grand Partita together.
Yes, and that was a special concert for the birthday, 90th birthday of Kurt Sanderling, who is still at 96 and a half, going strong.
He's incredible.
It's fantastic.
He's incredible. The concert was wonderful. But you've played a lot of Mozart with the orchestra. We're very lucky.
Somehow it turned out that way. Or, I mean, meanwhile, I do very rarely Mozart concertos with the big orchestras. But it's very difficult to say no to the Berlin Phil, that's why. But next year there is something totally different coming up, which I really look forward to. I play all 5 Beethoven concertos with Simon.
Wonderful.
Yes,
oh, we'll look forward to that.
Yes, so do I.
And the audience can see it on the digital concert hall.
Oh, God, that is actually quite frightening. It's wonderful and frightening at once, because suddenly what is in the hall, that is for that particular group of people you share it, it is in the open world.
We feel the same.
You do.
We feel the same. And for our Schumann Concertstück, it's all very well practicing it in our horn room, and it's okay playing it here in the hall. But just the feeling of it going out into the world live, it's quite another ball game.
Yes, I think so too. But it's part of the professional life. I am not quite sure that I like everything being everywhere. I sort of like the idea of concerts being there for that very moment. That's different. That's the difference between a concert and a recording. Although the recording is also, of course, it's corrected, but it's not only that you can correct it. Although the recording is also from that moment, but the immediacy of a concert, that you are sitting in a concert hall, and from that silence of that moment, for a piece to start, is something different.
We're hoping that's what our digital concert hall audience will be able to experience, hopefully through the technology of today with the great sound possibilities.
That's true. Yes.
So we're waiting for feedback from all over the world. We know a lot of people are watching in Japan and in Asia.
Well, that takes some sort of guts to be up at 4 a.m. or something to watch a concert,
true.
Honestly.
But I'm sure there are some people watching tonight.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Yeah.